What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here. So in this video, I thought it might be a good idea to just go through some builds that are really good in the expert haunted sectors. I don't know if these surges rotate with the weekly surge or what, but these don't really matter too much for these builds because they just go hard regardless. That being said, I think Stasis Surge is available every week. But yeah, so the first one is Titan. No surprise, you got the Knockout Consecration build. I run Glacial Quake, which is really good for dealing damage to the bosses when you get to the end. Shackle Grenades is good for any Unstoppables, and it's just good in general, and it's really good for building your Transcendence meter. Frenzied Blade for 3 Consecration Slams. Then we have Facet of Protection for damage resistance, Facet of Ruin to increase the AoE of our Solar Ignition, Facet of Balance for more melee and grenade energy, Facet of Dawn to give us Radiant, which is nice in a minute, I'll get to that, and then Facet of Sacrifice. While you have an Arc, Solar, or Void buff, you get bonus Darkness Transcendence energy. So when we have Radiant, and then when we get ability Final Blows, we get bonus Darkness Transcendence. So it's pretty easy to build Darkness between our Shackle Grenade and our Super and stuff. And then we have the Imminence, but you can just use basically whatever you want here. I just like this weapon, and it's Strand, so that helps me build Darkness. VS Velocity Baton from the new Vespers Host dungeon. And then we want to run, using a grenade launcher to damage a boss, damage a champion, or break a combatant shield weakens them. So Concussive Reload is important because this is going to be a 15% weaken. And then we can do a Consecration Slam. And when we do that, that's going to deal a bunch of damage and give us Radiant. And then we have Legend of Acrius with Trench Barrel. So when we do that Consecration Slam, we're going to activate Trench Barrel, and Acrius hits extremely hard. And again, the enemy is weakened from Concussive Reload. So basically when the Pumpkinhead spawns in, you just lay this down, do a Consecration, and clean it up with Legend of Acrius, and then rinse and repeat. It's very ammo efficient and very, very strong. As for mods, I'll just go over them quickly. We obviously have Syntheseps to increase our melee and consecration damage. Double Hands On for quick super energy. Double Heavy Handed so we can make lots of orbs. Just the Rainbow of Resistance. Innervation, Absolution, and Recuperation. So it just gives us... I should probably run Invigoration actually for melee energy instead. So I would change that. And then Bomber, Distribution, and Outreach. And we have Thruster. So yeah, that's it for the first build. Now on to the Hunter. So if you're a fan of my channel, you may have seen where I took Triple Glaives into the Lightblade GM, and I got to the boss room but died. But anyways, this build is actually really good in haunted sectors because again, it's very ammo efficient and glaives are good for blocking and staying alive. So we have Tether, Acrobat's Dodge. This is just going to give you and your allies Radiant, which is nice. I should actually switch this to Withering Blade because when I was running this build before, I wasn't worried about my melee because I had triple glaives on. So I would actually switch that, but you can run whatever melee you want. I was doing it with this melee though. Duskfield Grenades are nice for building that Darkness Transcendence. Stylus Executioner, so when we kill an enemy afflicted by any debuff, we're going to go invisible. And then if we do a melee attack with our glaive when we come out of that invisibility, we'll weaken a target. Then we've got Threaded Spectre, so when we dodge, we make a little decoy. Facet of Purpose, when we pick up an orb, we're going to get a Void Overshield. Facet of Awakening, rapidly defeating targets with light or darkness damage, generates an elemental pickup of the matching damage type, so that's just nice for making elemental pickups. Facet of Defiance, finishers will make enemies volatile. Not too important in the haunted sector, to be honest. Facet of Protection is very important for that damage resist because you're often surrounded by enemies. And then Facet of Blessing, melee final blows start health regen. This is really nice to get your health regenerating from a glaive kill. And then Lost Signal with Concussive Reload yet again, so that we can weaken the targets as they come in. Autoloading Vorpal is really nice. Then Aberrant Action, Heal Clip Incandescent. This just helps to take out enemies that are far away from you, and you can get some cure when you reload after a kill. And then Winter Bite hits really, really hard in the melee form, but then also its projectile is really good, and again, a very ammo efficient weapon. Then just Stasis and Void Siphon, Void and Stasis Dexterity. I had this just on from the GM when I was running it. Void and Stasis Scavenger, Proximity Ward, Reaper. So yeah, really the mods don't even matter that much, just as long as you have Triton Vice, which increases your glaive reload speed and melee damage when you're surrounded. And then melee final blows will overflow around, and then projectile final blows cause a little detonation. So yeah, just really good on the glaive. So basically, every time one of the headless ones pops in, you just beat them down with Winter Bite and move on to the next one. Like I said, very, very ammo efficient and very strong. And now for the Warlock build. This is my damage over time Warlock. Basically everything in here does dot damage, so it's very, very strong. Song of Flame, just an excellent super, even though it's not matching the Surge. I highly recommend running it. It lasts really long and it gives you all your abilities back. So yeah, just very good with this build. Phoenix Dive, just for a quick bit of cure, but more so that we can proc Hellion more often, because it's only a 55-second base cooldown, where Healing Rift is 122. But if you want the healing, by all means go Healing Rift. Healing Rift is still really good. Arcane Needle, so this will unravel targets, which does damage over time. And it also procs Radiant for us because we have Facet of Dawn. Cold Snap Grenades, just for getting darkness energy. Feed the Void, this just gives us Devour. Devour just helps us stay alive. Hellion, more damage over time because this causes Scorch and can sometimes cause an ignition if you hit the same target enough. So yeah, Scorch just gives you some damage over time. Facet of Courage, Arc, Solar, and Void abilities deal increased damage to targets afflicted with darkness debuffs. So really it would just increase your Hellion damage a bit if it was unraveled, which it's likely going to be. And it gives us +10 to Discipline. Facet of Devotion, defeating targets afflicted with stasis or strand debuffs grants bonus light transcendence. This build gets transcendence super, super quickly. It's amazing. Facet of Dawn, I already talked about. Facet of Balance, rapidly defeating targets with light damage grants melee. Darkness damage grants grenade, so just for our abilities. And then Facet of Protection again for that damage resistance when we're surrounded. And then Lost Signal, already talked about that one. Velocity Baton, already talked about that one. But this roll, I have Demo and Bait and Switch. Bait and Switch is really good. It's going to be a 30% damage boost, and we're going to have it like all the time, because what I do is I shoot this and reload it. Then I shoot this, and then I shoot 2 Anarchies on the pumpkin head, and then I throw an Arcane Needle, and then that's going to unravel it. And then it's also going to do damage over time because we have Necrotic Grip. Damaging a target with a melee poisons them, dealing increased damage over time. Defeating a poisoned target spreads the condition. So yeah, this is very, very strong, and just more dot damage. And again, the mods don't even really matter that much. So that's it. I just wanted to show the builds that I'm using to consistently get under 6-minute clears on all 3 characters, just with random LFGs. So I'm not really optimized like in a team setting. These are just what I use to help carry the team. And again, I didn't mention it, but Concussive Reload on this one as well. Having that free weaken from GLs is just awesome. So yeah, that's it. And then you could also run Parasite if you wanted. I'm obviously building into the dot damage, but Parasite is also really, really good if you don't have Anarchy or something. But anyways, that's it from me. I hope the video was helpful and informative, and if it was, a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated. I'll have dim links in the description, so yeah, you can just copy that if you need. Anyways, thanks for watching. Take care.